powered by Lucozade and Solomon Bespoke.
With the 60th pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Malik Lewis from San Fernando, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix of the NBL. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Mark. Malik Lewis, born in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's go to our international expert, Brandon Priscilla.
Nice 3-and-D guy from Trinidad and Tobago to Spain to Australia. He played for a up-and-coming Southeast Melbourne team. Remember what I said last night about Kareem Lopez? In this league, no autopsy, no foul.
This is manhood, and you know we always aim to be better as brothers. Today's topic, a really, really cool one. Living the dream. I'm going to go straight into it because time is of the essence. To my right, NBA star Malik Lewis, Trinbagonian. More importantly, I think the Trinbagonian tit is more important at this point, you know, as we say NBA star. I love that ring tit, but even more so that you are a son of the soil, the red, white, and black. To his right, to Malik's right, Jonathan Weeks, manager and mentor. You know, Jonathan, I'm going to be asking a bit about the mentor. Well, I'm going to ask Malik more what that mentorship looks like.
Right.
So this is a men's health podcast for the most part, manhood. We all have manhood. And it's always aimed at to the young people, younger generation, but to all men in general and women. A lot of women have been listening to have a better understanding, maybe not just of men or their man or men in general, but how they may show up. But in this particular show, just talking about your journey to get to where you are now, I think is a really impressive one, because in life we all have dreams, and many of us may be living, working to survive really, but are we all living our dream? Do we ever really get to live our dream? And here it is. I mean, I have the basketball here. You know, Jordan being my GOAT, Michael Jordan. I stopped really watching basketball intensely, you know, years and years ago. I mean, I'm much older than you, I'm sure. You're taller than me, but I'm sure I'm older than you. And since you know, I said that, I kind of threw that out there, and you're supposed to go, nah, man, you know, hey, you know, I think we're around the same age, something like that. The man just signed up one time, like, yeah, absolutely, you must be older than me. But anyway, let's get back to basketball. Michael Jordan was my GOAT. So that in itself, maybe that's why you thought I was much older, because that would give away if I said I saw him play. But I didn't say I saw him play, I just said he was my GOAT, right? Yeah. But I will say, no, I saw him play, and seeing him play, you knew everything about the NBA, everything about basketball at that point. But after that, you know, the Kobe Bryants and these people, much respect to all of them, Black Mamba, and then even with, you know, the LeBron era, I found myself not that committed to the NBA. But now, I have a reason to watch again. So from Michael Jordan's team, or old team, Washington Wizards, to Milwaukee Bucks. Only thing is, Giannis Antetokounmpo is gone to Miami Heat, but now they have Malik Lewis. Before we go into your origin and where you're from in Trinidad and Tobago and all of that, what is that like when that announcement is made? Or even before that, you get a call, surely.
Yeah. I think with five more picks to go, I was on a call with Jonathan and my agent, and they was like, yeah, you know, Milwaukee gonna draft you. It would be the 60th pick. It would be to Washington, but it would trade it. And girlfriend was sitting down next to him, and just started screaming on the phone, and he was laughing, and yeah, everybody was excited.
Is she screaming because ching at that point, or I mean, no more hard times?
I feel like it was a bit of both, maybe, you know. But yeah, she was excited. I was excited. I was in a hotel room, so I couldn't be too loud that way. But I mean, it was a good feeling, because you know, it's something that I've been working towards my whole life. It's like, you know, like Jonathan's been with me for a long time too, just to see like everything that we've been through hasn't been in vain. So yeah, it was just like a sigh, like, okay, like, you know.
So you know before the day itself, when it's announced to the world, well, you all know, because I watch, you know, you're watching these movies and you think of all these agents knocking on your door and coming trying to convince you to play, and you're there and you make the choice. Right. So at that point, you kind of know that they're going to announce you. You might know about the trade at that point, or some other team that wants you, but So what's that like?
Well,
Don't burst my bubble entirely. But.
No. I mean, you're kind of right. It depends on the talent. So they have the lottery picks was 1 to like.
I think it's 15.
15, right? So those will be the ones who know for sure that they're going 1 to 15. Those are lottery picks, right? And then after that, it is a toss-up, to be honest with you.
Right.
It depends on, obviously, the athlete's skill, his talent, and how good the manager or agents are, all right? The NBA, as much as it's based on talent, there's a lot that's very political as well, too.
Before you go into that, dumb it down for me, because when you see these things a lot of times, and I know a lot of people, you get number 1 pick, and like you said, 1 to 15, but there are a lot more persons that are drafted in the NBA.
Correct.
Outside of that 15, but what does it mean to be drafted 1 to 15? Does that mean?
So 1 to 15 means most likely that the team you're going to be the franchise player. They're going to build around you. All right, that is called lottery picks. Those guys are the top guys, the LeBrons, the Jordans, the Shaquille O'Neals, the Kobe Bryants. Those guys, they're franchise players. They will turn the organization around, or you would hope to. All right, and those are the guys who get guaranteed money. They get the highest of the pot at that point, because based on the NBA CBA, there's a certain percentage that goes to the lottery picks, and then the first rounders, and then second rounders, and late second rounders. So there's a percentage that goes down.
So when you get draft pick like Malik as number 6,
16.
right?
16.
6-0.
6-0.
Last
right?
pick, yes.
So you get out of the 1 to 15, but then is it how many persons are actually
60 guys.
60 guys,
yes.
Yeah.
right? And but then in each of the 60 guys, that's a guarantee. Or is it they only pick 60 players for that particular season?
So the first round, which is 30 guys, they are guaranteed. Those contracts are guaranteed.
Right.
From 31 to 60, it depends on now negotiations and how good the agent is to negotiate if you're going to get a guaranteed contract, a two-way, non-guaranteed, exhibit 10, so forth and so forth. So it depends on, obviously, the negotiations with the agency and the teams. So that's where Malik falls into that bracket. And then 60 guys from millions of guys who actually entered into the draft, who's trying to get to the draft, they only pick 60. So it's very, again, yes, it's based on talent, but there's a lot of business, negotiation, politics behind it. So
how good yourself and the agent are really, apart from talent. Talent's there already, but then it's the work behind the scenes.
Talent is a part of it, but not everything.
Not everything. Talent will get to the look.
Right.
But what is the kid? Is he a good kid? Is he a bad kid? Is he what influences him?
How is he going to carry the franchise?
Correct. Who's his team?
A big part of the draft process was a lot of teams was calling in to work out, but they're trying to see who he is off the court when they come to the games, because throughout the whole season or throughout your upbringing, they've been watching you play basketball for a long time. So it's just now it's like they don't know you off the court. They don't know who you is at home. They don't know who you is when you're not playing basketball. So a lot of it is just trying to see that person. And
if you're a team player, if you could fit in, because like you said, you mightn't have the talent of, say, Black Mamba that they may tolerate maybe some of the behavior.
Correct.
But you can bring a lot more to the team outside of that.
Yeah, because outside of the 15, the lottery picks, so most of them, they probably won't start. You know, if you're very talented, you would, but you'll come off the bench or you'll have to work your way up. So it's our games that you won't play. You'll have to be busting in practice and, making your name that way. So
if they have the talent, but they didn't get the outside of the 1 to 60, does that mean that they may have some discipline problems?
No. It depends. So it's not about discipline, but about needs too as well. For example, depending on if you want a good team, a championship build team, they usually get a lower pick. So you have to come on and fight, as you said, in practice and find your way, because they already have a system. They already have their guys from 1 to 8 playoff ready. So you have to come into that 15 first and break into that 7 or 8 or 9 rotation. So it's an uphill battle. Just because you got drafted doesn't mean you're staying in the NBA. There's a lot of different scenarios that happens while after draft night.
So the team behind you, Malik, is equally as important, because again, a lot of what I see from the outside, I mean, again, I've been in sport for a while and I still have a bit an understanding for it, but for the most part, I mean, outside maybe of an American public who enjoy basketball, they're not going to understand all of those complications to get onto an NBA team. But I want to come back to sitting down with your girlfriend. Now I have a better understanding for it. As they say in local parlance, bumsy squeaking or squinking. As they say. You never
You're too young for that. He's 21. You don't understand that.
Let me try and get the Gen Z speak, right? I don't know. clapping. I don't know what
I think let's say pause after that.
I don't know. Like, okay, you're nervous. You say no, and you know your stomach hurts. Let's break up.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I can't go
butterflies. Yeah,
and you're going through the draft 1 to 50. Yeah. Then you realize, God, this is the last 10, and as it goes down, and you said, like you said, you're in a hotel room with your girlfriend. But what are some of the real? Let's be men about it. What are some of the real thoughts that are going through your head at that point? Because yes, there might be excitement of this could happen, but also the feeling of loss if it doesn't.
All right, gotta be honest with you, right? So I think it had like 3 other Malik's in the draft. So every time, all right, I mean, I didn't expect to go in the first round. So when they was calling them names, I wasn't too like crazy. But the second day in the second round, every time they say Malik, I would text him, I'd be like, God, like, damn, and then he would text me back. But honestly speaking, I would just be feeling kind of embarrassed having my girlfriend there and not getting called. Cause I know she would have consoled me and stuff, but just me, being myself,
You're not a man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say that. But I think after that call with Jonathan and my agents, I feel like that was the longest they take to call for the 5 picks up until my pick. After every pick, they go on a break. Somebody talking, and I just say nothing there, and I come on, But yeah, that was it. It was just hope.
So it's like these game shows, and when you just before something happens, they go, and now we take a break.
Yeah.
And you're going through that live.
Yeah.
That's wickedness.
It was just waiting to hear your name called, and then it happened and just went crazy.
So for the nation, I mean, you have your own excitement, but also the nation getting to see, all of a sudden you see the red, white, and black, you see the flag pop up on an NBA draft, and you're like, because it's not something that you hear every day.
For sure.
And that in itself, how do you feel at that point as a manager, a mentor?
Relieved, to be honest with you, because not to go back, when we get to that point, when I first met him, I was 15. And I sat with his mom, and I was like, this is what I can offer you, and what is your goal? He told me, I want to go to the NBA at 15. I looked at his mom, and probably at this, when I look at it now, it worked out, but I told his mom, I could promise you that. Not knowing that I could guarantee that. And I was like, I'm gonna get him there. And how many years after? 15 to 21.
So you just said not knowing.
Yeah, it wasn't sure. It was like, so for me, I had the blueprint in my mind how to get a good athlete from the Caribbean today, but I never did it before. I just needed the Malik to, because other than that, people look at me crazy, and people will look at me crazy. I know the blueprint. I know this game like the back of my hand, I did all aspects of it. I played, coached, I know the business behind it. I work for the Ministry for Sport Company, and I worked with the Federation, so I know every facet of this game. And I was like, I have this blueprint. I just need someone who could believe in me, that I could guide them to that blueprint, and he was the one who believed. And I was like, I told his mom, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get him there.
So all that you would be probably said before, but you didn't have a Malik at that particular point.
Right.
Now you have a Malik. Is it that people now? All right, we're now going to listen to what Jonathan had to say.
Well, before Malik, actually, Malik's not the only kid from the Caribbean or from Trinidad I helped. He just got the furthest. But with him, when I saw him and his growth, the jump he made in that short space of time, I was like, maybe he could be the one. And I was like, all right, for this to work, I have to go all in. Because if I don't go all in, he won't go all in. And he needs someone there to show that, hey, even we're going to succeed together or we're going to fail together. And, that stems from our culture where sports is not deemed as something tangible, something safe. And if it fails, I have to accept those consequences. And I told him that. I said, if it doesn't work out, I will never leave you. We will take it together. I will actually be in front and take the bullets for you, sorry. And yeah, we had a lot of ups and downs in this process, a lot of ups and downs, more downs than ups. But we got to the top of the mountain.
So a couple of things that we want to talk about, of course, your journey to the NBA, leaving here, going to school abroad and getting into the NBA. But I want to just touch on a bit about when you say that Jonathan is not just your manager but also a mentor, at what point do you, because a manager is a manager, and you could say, listen, you know what, that's your role, but the fact that he's a mentor, like what are some of the things that he's, like when did you know that moment that this is the guy that you, almost like a big brother, or, you see him as, but what are some of the things that, you know, he may have shared or imparted to you that you really say, listen, I want to take advice from this guy?
I mean, since like going to Spain, when I first went to Spain, he was with me. We, I wouldn't say traveled together, but just been together for the past 6 years. I grew up with him, basically. He watched me grow. And just simple conversations we just have throughout the day, or over the phone, or before or after games. Like you said, we've been through a lot of ups and downs. Been cussed out a lot of times.
As a good mentor.
Yeah. But he has always put that confidence in me and always pushed me to be the best that I could be. He does always see the best, and you know, I was always thank him. He was with my brothers and them yesterday. Not much people just bring around my brothers and them because, you know, that's my family, you know. Yeah. So and they love him, you know. They call him Uncle Johnny, you know.
They got Uncle boy.
Yeah, brothers and them, they're really excited. I'm a little sister too, so you know. Yeah, I feel like just something like that, like meeting my little brothers and instantly, you know, clicking to him.
That's a litmus test. It actually shows you that, you know, if he's accepted into the family, then he must be a good one. Because a lot of times, families see through the whole You know, you may be caught up with certain things or caught up because of certain moments that you've been through. But families see past a lot of that because all they see is the person and the interaction. They don't care about all the other stuff. So, you know, what are some of, you talk about the ups and downs and some of the dark times that I like to call dark times, always moments of learning.
Right.
You know, moments that help you be better. Because again, you know, in all failures, it leads you one step closer to success.
Yeah.
As long as you have someone like a Jonathan who can really separate that and be able to say, hey, this is one step down, to quote Jordan, who had several hundred misses.
Yeah.
But people only see the shots that he scored.
Yeah.
They don't see the amount of times that he's missed in order to be who he is now. What are some of the things that you would say, moments that, did you ever think, man, this man?
A lot to be honest with you. So the process with him is that when it started, he went to Spain. So funny story. So I just want to give you a good picture of how everything started with him. So his coach, he went to Pleasantville, the secondary school coach and PE teacher, Jeffrey Harris. He found him and he messaged me and said, hey, I have a kid here who I think might be something. I'm a skeptical guy. I know talent, and in Trinidad, when someone tells you you're good, you had to watch that, you know, with one eye open. I was like, okay, cool. And I sent him to my good friend who, Mario Davis. He started a organization called Caribbean Hoops, where we got kids before Malik. We got like 50 kids from the Caribbean, scholarships from junior colleges to Division 2s, NEIA, Division 1s, and stuff like that. So we've been doing this before Malik ever started. So we know the talent, we know the process. And I was like, okay, well, send him to Mario, and because I trust Mario's word. You know, that's the only person I trust like that for basketball. And Mario was like, okay, bring him. We had a thing called the lab where we would bring players and we just work them out and get them better for their respective teams and stuff like that. So when he came there and he was like, I think this guy could go. I was like, send me some video. He sent me some video. I saw him, I was like, okay, like a typical Trinidadian talented, but I was like, I look for certain things, and I was like, okay, I didn't see it at that point in time. And then I think like a couple of weeks after, he sent me another video, and the jump he made within that, I was like, no way. I've never seen this before in my life. I've never seen a kid make a jump in 2 weeks. And I was like, hold on. And I took the video.
But when you say he made the jump in 2 weeks, was that now 2 weeks with because he was in an environment for guidance?
Yes.
Because at that point, you know, in Trinidad, there's a lot of times where we say we bouncing ball.
Correct.
And you know, as you mentioned, PE in school, we don't have really programs in school. It's either bouncing ball on the outside,
correct,
or you know, later on you sort of blossom if you say, or if you get a scholarship.
Correct. So Mario knows basketball to that level of I do, even a little better. So he would know what to do and what to see and what to challenge him with. And as we saw the jump, I'm like, all right. So I took the video and I was like, I have a couple of friends in Spain who are connected to basketball agents and stuff. I was like, hey, I have this kid. What do you think? And he was like, okay. He was like, okay. And they say, I think there's something there. But I'm like, no, there's something there. But in Spain, the level's so high. And they only look for big men. He's not a big man. He's a guard forward. Usually, and the couple of guys I sent before Malik were bigs, 6'10", 6'11". So like, you want another big? I'm like, no, but this kid is going to max out about 6'8", 6'9". He's going to be a hybrid. I think you should take a chance on him. So deliberating back and
Which
forth.
is not considered big. I'm just thinking, I come like a spot web in NBA that, like, short guy.
He's a guard, So with that happening, discussions happening, the Digicel Jumpstart came down to Trinidad. They usually come every year with NBA players, and they look for talent. So while this happened, he's in that, and he got selected top 5 in the Caribbean.
This is when Avery came down, Avery Bradley?
This was the...
Caron Butler.
Caron Butler was there.
Right.
Avery Bradley was after.
Right.
So he got selected into the 5. I'm like, okay. So once that happened, the guys in Spain was like, okay, we will take him. So while all this is happening, I'm negotiating everything for him, right? And then once they said we like him, before he left Trinidad to go. So when they picked the 5 and they decided to take them to New York, they watch a basketball game and they play some high schools, right, with that 5, with that team. And there's like a couple 3 from Trinidad, 1 from Barbados, 1 from, I think it was Turks and Caicos or something like that. So he's in the best 5 in the Caribbean, and 1 from Jamaica. So he's in the best 5 in the Caribbean, and they're taking them to go and, enjoy themselves. So while that is happening, I told his mom, I'm like, hey, I think when he goes to New York, I'm just take him. Like, I live in New York. We're going to head to Spain one time. And this is what was kind of like crazy. Usually when I talk to other moms, they're very skeptical and they was like questioning me down. They were hesitant. But his mother was like, she told me something. She's like, yeah, God sent you. I was like, huh? So she was like, yeah, take him because I think my son is destined for greatness. I'm like,
she does always say that, like, she womb blessed. I don't know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like, it's like, all right.
Straightforward like that.
And she didn't lie?
No.
Clearly. So I was taken aback by that she was so at ease with me taking her minor to halfway across the world, because other parents would look at it in a different way. It's like, hold on, this grown man I never seen before is popping from my house to take my son, only son of that, just to carry him across the world. There's a bunch of negative connotations attached to those things.
Always. Yeah.
So it's a risk I'm taking when I play with my name, my money, everything I'm playing with for a chance on this kid is who I think he is. And she sat there and we talked and we spoke, and she was like, you know what, let's make sure he's safe. I trust you and stuff like that. I don't know. She's like my energy, because I just told her the truth. So this is what it is. These are the pros, the cons. This is what could happen. These are the failures, these are the wins. And she was like, okay. And once she gave me the okay, she signed the letter off of guardianship. Came to New York, played in that little tournament, went to that Brooklyn Nets game the day after we flew to Spain.
This is some amazing stuff. And I like the fact that your mom knew, that you were anointed, that her womb was blessed, because for all this to happen, you read so many stories about the champion mindset, and a lot of persons who become world champions or do excel in sport. It must be that the parent believes. Yeah. Because if you later on, it'd be too late. It has to be at a young age that you're groomed. And it's parents, you see with Lewis Hamilton, Lionel Messi, a lot of these parents have seen that it's not just, we have a culture as well. Doctor, lawyer, you have to go and study, you have to go you have to go to work, forget this creative environment or go and play sport, because how many, they would crunch your numbers, they would look at how many haven't made it. And if you're telling someone, if you're a parent coming to someone in Trinidad, and I want people to hear this in Trinidad and Tobago, and you say, hey, I think your son could make it in the NBA, you'd be like, yeah. This you do. You might know about old colloquialisms, but you certainly know about our long strips. One time. Yeah. One time.
A very big risk.
It's a big risk, and yet here we are. Yeah. But before we go to the break, I know we have a lot to talk about, even in the second part, where I want to talk more about your journey. But the Wisconsin, it cold.
I mean, I prefer the cold. So the heat. The heat is not really much. I just be inside all the time, right? So it won't be a problem.
So you got drafted for Washington Wizards, which is a big big team in itself, but Milwaukee Bucks is big. In terms of the legend of like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's now gone to Miami Heat. But that's being part of that team is some big shoes. Well, I mean, they all have big shoes, but I mean, let's be real. To be part of that environment, that legacy, must be something that takes you even another level of pride.
Yeah, I mean, just off of hearing that the team traded for me, I kind of just, it kind of upped my spirit a little bit now. But and then going there
this is
for like the training camp before summer league, and just seeing the environment, seeing how everybody nice. To the billboard with "Welcome Malik Lewis" on it, driving into the city. So I didn't expect that, and everybody. People from Milwaukee reached out, and congratulated and welcome. So it was a warm welcome. I didn't expect any. I didn't know what to expect, but it wasn't that. And then everybody in the organization treated me well. And yeah, just seeing the level of practice and the level of talent that there, it was just eye opening.
Yeah, if you thought it was tough before to get there, start.
I mean, to stay there is, I do just want to be like a. Yeah, you get drafted, you play 1 or 2 games type of person. I want to be there and make a name for myself and, establish myself as an NBA player,
Remember Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali would say it. He said, when you start to train and you start to do your push-ups or your sit-ups, when the pain starts is when the count starts. Yeah. That's when he knows. So for you, like you said, the count is really now.
A new beginning.
A new beginning. Yeah. So just before we go to the break, and as a mentor, one level that you have to now accept is, which you've probably not been involved before, is this is now superstar level. This is now NBA, all eyes on you. And like he said, going in there, it's impressive. Yeah. You must feel good about it. But there comes a point that has to be managed, and you must be aware of that.
Yeah, for sure. You have to keep him in reality, because at the end of the day, the NBA is a business first, That's what it is. And just to make a connection, Malik is not the first Trini to be in Milwaukee. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yes. Milwaukee Bucks, he won a championship there, and his dad is Trinidadian. So the connection is there.
Lakers legend now,
I don't know if it's on purpose, but it's just that a fellow Trini,
He's a Skyhook man too, eh?
Correct. He's on everybody's Mount Rushmore, so that is a big deal. So he has, a connection there, And it just keep him grounded in reality, because once you're in the NBA, as quick you get in, quick you can get out. Because there's always somebody coming for that spot. And 60 guys got drafted, but thousands of guys who thought they were going to get drafted didn't get drafted. So now they come and gunning for that 60. So he always has to be aware, always has to be prepared, and always ready for the task at hand. And I'm just there to keep him there, keep him grounded, and just, know when to give him positivity, know when to give him a dose of reality, know when to, as you say, cuss him out at times, because... Let's be real, Trinidadian.
It's got a hard cuss in Trini or in America. Because American cuss isn't the same. I mean, a full-on hard Trini cuss is different. That resonates.
It is being Trini. He doesn't talk to me in an American accent.
So, I mean, I'll give it this.
Warranted. So.
I'll give it this one thing. I mean, I apologized to him after that, but he played in Australia, and one game, he was playing like crazy, like not bad at all. And I was behind with the owner, the GM, the dignitaries there, and I was pissed. Like I'm fuming.
You could cuss, we beat things out.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I went to articulate myself properly, and the halftime, and you walk into the locker room, he has to walk past me, and he not making eye contact with me because and his team is also his team made eye contact with me, and I'm like pointing Malik, I lost it on him. Like everybody was around, I lost him because he was playing so bad. I'm like, yo, what the hell are you doing? And he just watched me like, and he walked. And when I catch myself and everybody looking at me like, yo. But he went back when he played well and won the game and stuff like that. And it was like, yeah, good job. I'm like, I had to apologize because I'm not that type of person. I don't like embarrassment. Yeah. I didn't want to embarrass him because we had that relationship, but I just think at that time it was needed, and that's the relationship him and I have, that he understood why. He accepted my apology first. Obviously, I had to apologize for him to take anything else, as a man. I was like, I was wrong. I could have told you that in privacy, But he understood why I said it, and it helped. So it's more so in terms of, it's a relationship. I have to understand he's a man. At any day, he's 21. Yes, I saw him grow as a child. To not have to give him that space as a man, he's figuring stuff out. And we're figuring this out together. It's like us going to a tunnel with a flashlight and looking at things for the first time. Because I cannot say I've taken another kid to the NBA. So the next kid who I take, we have the pathways lit up already, so it'll be easier. Yeah. But with him and I now, is more so us really figuring out which door to go. Probably going around have to come out and,
It's all pioneering, and for you.
It's all trailblazing at this point. So, and I have to remember that, hey, I'm human just as him, and he will make a mistake, and he is in a position where no one in the Caribbean has ever been at that point. So he is going to view things differently from me. My maturity level is way different from his. I was his age, he's never my age, and the responsibilities and the strains on his shoulder, you have to watch him and temper it as much as possible, because it could break him. Because just by, for example, him getting drafted, and this went through the comments, you're seeing love, but you see hate too, and it's like, before, when you had no connection to any of those players, you would see the hate and you would just laugh at it because it's funny. But now it hit home, and it's be like, wow. So sometimes I'll tell you, just don't go in the comments for this. Just stay off your phone for a little bit, because people mean the internet is undefeated. There's no way you could win against the internet, and those things you have to manage, because it's a sunken place if you dive in.
Let me tell you something, Malik. In all environments and everything in life, right? You're always, for the most part, especially in sport, as good as your last performance. You've seen it, World Cup, Jude Bellingham, one match, hero, singing Hey Jude. Next match, blaze. Yeah. It happens all over the world all the time. You're as good as your last performance. And it's a matter of you are the one that needs to always remember who you are, why you're there, and have people like Jonathan behind you to always get to the next level, because for the most part, people are only there to enjoy the ride. Like sponsorships, the Nikes, the Pumas, think about it. They only really come on when you're top of your game. Outside of that, the moment you have a bad day, they drop you. And if you look at people like that, that's what fans are. They're there when you're doing well, and also there to tear you down when you're not. And it's a reminder. But we're going to take a short break. When we come back, one of the things I need to ask you, what's it like to have that first dunk? We're talking about living the dream.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chagonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Books, fees, uniforms, stationery, laptops, whatever you need. Don't despair. PCU is here. Cover all your tuition costs with an education loan from PCU. Get financing up to $150,000 at only 5.5 interest rate. Access the most affordable education loan with the best credit union. PCU, Police Credit Union. Your future is safe with us. All normal lending criteria apply.
Welcome to Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do enjoy, Stacey. You want some coffee?
Can I have a bit?
Perfect then.
That's exactly what we need.
Hey, the pool is this way.
Whatever you're here for, we're here for you. Stay smart at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Every day, your nasal passages are exposed to dryness from dry air, CPAP machines, oxygen therapy, sinusitis, allergies, and the common cold. When the nose becomes dry, breathing doesn't feel comfortable. It feels irritated, tight, and blocked. Introducing Nasogel Spray. A gentle nasal spray, designed to help restore moisture where you need it most. Its hydrating formula helps soothe and relieve dryness inside the nasal passages, supporting more comfortable breathing. Nasogel Spray, so you can breathe better every day. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
When it comes to gypsum and sealing solutions, there's only one name you can count on. Contractors Warehouse is your complete supplier with the materials and solutions your project demands. From premium gypsum boards to superior quality and specialty sealing tiles, framing metals and sealing grid systems, joint compounds, adhesives, and the full range of accessories. As an authorized USG distributor, we bring you quality products you can trust. With 2 strategic locations in El Socorro and Gulfview Link Road. Contractors Warehouse, everything gypsum, all in one place.
Wisdom is chasing you, but you are faster. Your friends are investing with First Line. This one have house, this one building business. You, my son, hey, you are buying rims.
My enemies have succeeded.
It's not too late, my son. Call First Line. Secure your future today so we do not hang our heads in shame. I'll call First Line now.
Wisdom says it's never too late to take control of your finances. First Line Securities, helping Trinidad and Tobago invest for over 2 decades. Invest with us. Go to firstlinesecurities.com to begin investing today.
Schofield back the other way, confronted by Lewis, wants to take him on, and Lewis wasn't buying it.
Wow, there's 2 big bodies going at it.
6 points for him. He's having an influence at both ends of the floor. Smith coughed it up. There comes the Lewis for the jump upstairs finish.
That's all John Brown. Look at this. Just unbelievable pressure in the lanes allows Malik Lewis.
Milton Doyle back on the floor as well. 1:22 remaining in the opening quarter. Great hands, Foxwell. He gets rewarded with an easy look at the other end.
And then he just attacking gaps and penetrating.
Nice pass by Lewis to the cutting Sobey. Cairns had 60 at Melbourne in round 4.
Correct. But David, go ahead, Case. I'm sorry.
Adelaide had 59 in Tasmania last season.
This is ManHood, and we're talking about living the dream.
So Malik, before we went to the break, you know, I know your colleagues and everybody else in the room laughed when I said, you know, talking about the first dunk, and then I said I remember, and I didn't get to finish my sentence, right? Because everybody assumed that immediately Trini, Pekong and Pong, everybody turned to me and went, boy, you ain't dunk nothing, boy, you know you never dunk in your life. Okay, that's true. You know, I was a good layup man, but it's embarrassing. 6'3", 6'4", I should have been able to dunk. But
I mean,
I'm one of those. Listen, I love playing sport, but certain sports I was never good at. You know, I was a swimmer, a rally man, hiker, those types of things. But basketball, I love playing and watching more than anything. But having said that, I could only imagine what it's like your first dunk or to be able to dunk. So I've seen some videos. Jonathan sent me some videos. We'll show it throughout this podcast. But what does that feel like, or what's your first memory? You know, you're bouncing ball here. I mean, it happens all over the world where people go, oh, when you rest it on a man. But Trini hit the front.
Yeah. My first dunk, I actually can't remember the first one. I sure it's probably just in school, just playing around, just, you know, attempt doing that.
Right.
Just practicing. But ever since I could remember dunking, it was always a good feeling, you know, except when you mess up your wrist or something. But yeah, I mean,
there's more to plant it on a man. It's like, you know, to have that go through and bounce on his head or something. Let's face it, when you first start, Jonathan, bouncing ball and you dunk, it's not about, I scored that point. It's a disrespect.
Yeah, it's testosterone.
Yeah.
His ego, his everything is disrespect, you know, because it's still 2 points, but it sends a different message than a layup or a jump shot. You know, it's like, okay, don't mess with me, don't come in the rim. If you have to jump, you have to actually get up there. So it's more of an ego boost. It's real testosterone. There's no sports is a very egotistical thing.
Yeah.
You know? It's more
kind of a dominance thing.
Yeah, dominance.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what's one of your best dunks?
Nobody want to get dunked on. So you do it one time. The next time he probably ain't gonna jump.
Staying back. Correct.
Yeah. Best. Probably when I was like 16 or something, and like when I first went to Spain. Feel like I was always one of the bigger kids, like one of the more athletic ones. So it used to be crazier back then. Now dunking, it's not really a big thing, you dunk. It's easier now. But back then, when you actually like put all the effort into it and you watch the video after, as soon as the game done, you go on your phone and see somebody post it. Yeah.
Social media worthy,
Yeah.
So airtime is a key thing, but I feel like we should get into now a bit more the journey to get to where you get, because we spoke about Spain, we spoke about Australia, even spoke about the school that you went to, Pleasantville. But what was that journey like? Your mother said that she knew when Jonathan approached her, she knew her womb was blessed. So all this is things that have happened on that which would have been a very quick turnover, because you're only 21 to the NBA now, from Washington Wizards to Milwaukee Bucks. But what about the in-between? Born Trinidad and Tobago, yes. Born in Pleasant Park?
No, I was born in San Fernando General Hospital.
Right.
Grew up in Pleasant Park until I was 11.
So you're a South boy?
Yeah. And when I was 11, I went to live with my grandfather because I ride SCA past to Pleasantville, and it was closer to school. After that, I left when I was in Form 4. And
you left Trinidad in Form 4?
Yeah.
So at that point, that would have been around when you guys came together to be able to take him from, based on almost a scholarship of sorts, meaning that you were able to see talent, talk to people like Mario Davis, spot that talent, and then move on. So you got lucky, yes. When I say lucky, talent is one thing, but talent meeting luck is where they say, or talent meeting opportunities where they say luck comes in. Correct. And in your case, 1 to 60, you're accustomed to this because you were drafted in Trinidad to get that opportunity through Jonathan's eyes to get to where you got. Because had you not seen him, and had you not taken him to Mario and then started that journey, you'd be bouncing ball somewhere around.
So his PE coach, Jeffrey Harris, brought him to me. We spoke on the phone, and I told him to send to Mario, because Mario is the guy who I trust in Trinidad at the point in time to really evaluate talent. Because we get this all the time. Oh, I have this kid, and when we meet him, it's like, you're wasting my time. All right? But Malik's situation was different. He actually was young enough and talented enough, so it worked out. And as I said before, once I saw the jump in at 2 weeks, we went to Spain. And when we got to Spain, it's a funny story. We got to Spain, and we were there, we were chilling and stuff. And he had a game that weekend. We went to play him in a game one time. It was on the 16 game. And it's like, you want to play? He's like, yeah, remember Spanish? He'll speak the language and stuff like that. So we went, and I was there sitting down, and the game started and the playing. I was kind of nervous. I'm like, I hope this guy do wet the bed, I'm like, because they'll send me up, play to get right back. So I sit in there and I was like, all right.
You heard somebody say first time, or you?
Nah.
I trust him. Everything that I'm saying here, I told him. And I was like, all right, put him on the court. Fast forward to the end, he finished top scored. By the time the game ended, everybody knew his name, chanting his name. I was in shock. I was like, no way, this kid is going to dump me to a basketball game on the second night of him being in a country never been before. I was like, there's no way.
Especially in Spain, where they have a good history of top basketballers.
I feel like that was the first time playing organized basketball, like systems, and you had to listen to. I always listen to coach, but like you have to, I just kind of use my physical abilities to my advantage.
Is that what you can credit the 2 weeks that you talk about, Jonathan, that you saw an exponential shift in what you had initially seen to now? Is it that because now you felt that you were in an environment to nurture that talent even further?
Because Going back a little bit, I will always say that I was lucky because even now, me and Weeks has been talking, and he was like, yeah, at that point in time, it had kids better than you. So even going to the lab, there was other kids there, other people there that was better than me, and that had been there longer than me and already know like a lot of the drills that we're doing and already established. And how do you say it?
You think they're looking on now and going?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I let them just text and congratulate, and I just respond easy, you know. But
beating themselves up, thinking that, hey, you know, I missed a shot or what I'm to me.
Actually, they didn't miss a shot because the kids he's talking about, they all went to college. Some of them playing pro right now. So the kids that he's talking about, they're already established. So it would be never any type of jealousy or anything.
Yeah. Right.
It's like the better man actually got to where he got to.
Yeah.
So it's more respect.
But at that point in time, they were better than me and doing all the drills better. So it kind of my ego just it made me, you know, like go harder in the drills, try to like do everything as perfect as possible, and yeah, hand the chap an opportunity to leave.
But where does that come from? Because, you know, a lot of times in these environments, you're not thinking NBA at that point. I mean, yes, you want to go to the NBA, but the reality is, I mean, that's a dream. You know, you're living the dream. But at that point, it's a dream that most persons in any sport that they do, they want to be at the top of that sport. And in this case, for you, it's the NBA. But what was the driving force? I mean, a mentor, a good manager is one thing, but you still have to get up and grind. You know, you hear it all the time with the Messis and Ronaldos. They're the first on the pitch and they're the last. And they put in the work all the time. And you seem to have had that champion mindset from early, even though you might not fully recognized it.
I ain't gonna lie, it was embarrassment. I didn't want to go back to school and tell everybody that, yeah, I wasn't good enough. I didn't want to go back home and tell my mom. I mean, obviously, my issue still, like, oh, here's my son, you know, I don't care. I happy back home, you know, but I didn't want to go back home and tell my mother and my grandfather and stuff that, yeah, you know, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't able to do it. The pressure was too much. So I just had to go over there and work, you know, and it started from the lab, going there and competing with fellas that bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, and yeah, you don't have a choice because you want to stand out. Yeah, from there on, it was just like, just not wanting to go back home. And that is something that Weeks had told me too. It's have two reasons that people that succeed is, you know, the fear of failing or just being embarrassed. You know, the embarrassment of failing. And I didn't want either of those things. But
even in the embarrassment of failing still comes with an element of, you know, there are people that just go, I don't care. I don't, you know, and even though you do care, you just put it down to, like someone, for example, if you're trying to lose weight, you know, people would say, I don't care what nobody thinks. But the reality is you do probably want to be a bit fitter. You probably, you know, want to live a healthier lifestyle. But because you may not have the mindset or the drive or have a team around you to put you there, because sometimes it's a lot of work, you know, in that mindset. You just kind of go, I don't give a what other people think. Right. So you could have, apart from the fear of failure or embarrassment, could have just said, I don't care, I'm just going to go home and go into some other lifestyle. But yet here you are now signing to the Milwaukee Bucks and must be telling yourself now that you are enough and you are, I mean, apart from having a mentor behind you who will, in your moments of doubt, be able to say, I deserve to be here.
Yeah, I mean, I care. I care. For the most part, I care. I care about everything that, you know, I care about the opinions to an extent, you know. And at that point, I cared a lot more what people said. So I feel like it did me good. But just being in the environment of the NBA and like during practice and stuff, doing simple things, and you're like, you know, it making you realize that you belong. You know, it's not like you're so far behind or anything. Just being drafted shows that.
How does it feel when you say that? Because, I mean, I'm hearing it, and it's like, you know, we're here in Trinidad and Tobago right now, and here it is you're saying, you know, what it's like to be in the NBA. It just seems so far for, you know, someone like myself, for example, you know, sitting down here listening to someone who's at that top that you grew up looking at the NBA, you know, like I said, I have the basketball, a lot of us looking on, you know, they say those who can't teach, and if you can't teach, then you talk about it.
Right.
right? So I'm saying that how you hearing it, like what does it continuously send goosebumps through?
Man, crazy. We were talking about, like, I have like a pass on my phone, right, to go into the facility. And, you know, like, I didn't think of like having any of that. You just walk by the door, shake your phone, and you're walking into this facility where you could be alone, and it's not like you're trespassing. You know, you're walking, and it's have a bunch of rims, a bunch of basketballs, it's have chefs, food, to have everything you need. To have, you know, physiotherapy, to have people to talk to, you know, for mental health. And it's just, you know, it always have a coach at your disposal to get extra work in, and everybody willing. You know, they're not gonna look at you like a type of way, like, I'm not feeling to do this today. It's like, okay, some people are like, they just call you to do treatment and stuff. And I didn't expect that. You know, I thought, you know, you would have to go and ask and do this or whatnot, but they know it.
I was asking for a massage every day. I'd be like, yeah, I was
milking it. I was milking it. I'm not gonna lie. I was. So it's like, it was a whole different experience for me. And, you know, it's something that will push me to keep myself there. You know.
So we're gonna go get to the you know, a lot of the, you know, we found out a lot about the NBA and your feelings, but you know, we have to get in is our podcast. We had to get into some small talk here, right? You know, so there's conversation about, are you really from Pleasant Park? Are you really a South boy? And you know, all these kind of horse rumors, you know, which I'm sure you hear. I mean, there's going to be many more, right? I mean, you know, now you know, it's like they say, the devil doesn't come after those who are insignificant. So now that you're in the limelight is where anybody who has something to say are going to say it, because at that point it lights up, it puts a light more on
clickbait,
basically. Yeah. And there's one gentleman who said such. What do you have to say to him? I mean, you can cuss. I mean,
you see, no, I'm not gonna put it like that, but I see a video that a man said that I'm from Laventille. You know, I was born in Laventille. I moved when I was young. I have an elder brother in Straight Nets that used to play for Straight Nets. I have no idea who these people are. In a respectful way, obviously. I heard my mother's name is Claire. My mother's name is Asha. I don't think any of her names is Claire. I've never been to Laventille before. I grew up in Pleasant Spark. Even Pleasant Spark people felt that type of way from me saying I'm from San Fernando. But I just say Sando because I don't think anybody outside of this room really know what Pleasant Spark is unless you're from there.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm shaking my head up like trying to pretend like, yeah, I know where that is.
But if I say Sando, you'll be like, oh, okay, I know what Sando is. So I just, you know, I lived in Sando for a couple of years, so you know, it's not that big of a deal. But no, I'm not from Laventille.
So let's just clear this up, right? Malik Lewis is from Pleasant Park, which is San Fernando side, is south, right? It has
Claxton Bay,
Claxton Bay side, right? So if you need your map to this gentleman who's saying what you had to say, if you need a map, south is south, Laventille is Laventille, right? Not south. Right, you know they have a Brazil in Trinidad, and they have a Brazil as a country. They only have one Pleasant Park, right? So we just want to clear that up. The other thing is, your sign for the NBA is a bag of money. You know, you hear that, Jonathan, like immediately it's ching. There's no.
So to clear that up. So again, in the beginning we were saying, you know, the different tiers in terms of the draft. So you have the lottery. Guys 1 to 15, those guys get guaranteed money, and a simple Google search will show you the amount they get. First round, the rest of the first round is guaranteed money, obviously. And the second round, where Malik is at, and the bottom of the second round is more so 2 ways, exhibit 10s and draft and stash. So I'm going to explain all these now. So 2 ways mean you have, you'll be signed to the team, but you'll also be playing in the G League, which is the developmental league of the NBA.
So that's where Bronny was playing.
You're right. Yeah, most second round picks and few first round picks, they will all be down there. You know, playing to get reps in, up and down. If an injury happens or they do well, they will get called up. Like the football system, the academy system in football is the same thing the NBA mimics. So they'll be signed to a 2-way where they'll come, they'll be up and down, they'll go play a G League game today, play the NBA game tonight, or play the G League game today, play an NBA game tomorrow, and they're up and down. All right, that's what majority of the draft picks they'll be doing. the Exhibit 10 guys are bringing for Summer League, they're bringing guys on Exhibit 10 just to see them in Summer League and hope they stick on a team or get seen, because the NBA Summer League is not only NBA teams watching you, all the top European leagues watching as well, scouts, teams, GMs watching you, China, Asia, top teams, all the top world clubs, teams, leagues, they watch those and they pick from there as well. Also, there's draft and stash, where most likely, just to clarify, Malik will be a draft and stash in the sense of you got drafted, they will develop you, and if they will stash you to a team for 1 year, let you play a lot, and then you'll come back to the team the following year because they own his rights.
Right.
And he will
it's like on loan, like
correct.
in football, how you're
assimilate to the team.
And when I say football, we're not talking about we talking about what you all call soccer, right?
Football, yeah.
That's football.
The real football.
The real football.
Yeah,
we Trinidad.
Yeah, we Trinidad. So you gotta say that. But
plenty fresh water out there. Plenty fresh water.
So that's where the clarification comes out. So for Malik, while him being the last draft pick, he has the opportunity to either stay or to be stashed for a year, depending on how the GM and the coaches see him fit. Where right now is a tosser because they dismantle the team. They trade Giannis, obviously. They trade Bobby Portis. Usually those are big cap space that they got rid of. They got back Tyler Hero and a couple other guys. Tyler Hero is a big contract, but the other guys they traded for are not so big. So there's basically room for spots up for grabs. So it's basically they will allow them to fight for a spot. And if Malik makes the spot, he'll get a guarantee. They will negotiate that to the agency we with right now. Or if not, they will stash him for 1 more year. Either he goes back to Australia for 1 more year, or he plays in a EuroLeague team where he will make significant amount of money. Not the NBA guaranteed contract. Obviously, NBA is the highest paid. But you have a year to prove himself, and he comes back, and he will be assimilated into the team.
So all that political talk, right? Yes. In terms of the probably dodgy question, we're coming back. Right. So in other words, the first half of the draft, right, gets a sneaker named after them, the Nike named after them, or the Adidas, but in the second part, you get a Nike. You get shoes.
All right, so
named after.
All right, so
we call it into we're talking blessed where we want a Malik Lewis. I'm a size 13, right? 13. Just put it out there, right?
Put big.
Yeah.
The rest are dunk on you. I might be my first.
But no, you're absolutely right. So he's comfortable. I'll put it that way. Also, we had a deal we signed with Panini. It's a deal where it's trading cards, where he'll be on a trading card, where you buy the packet and you get random. You can get a Malik Lewis signed trading card. We had a deal with them. We have a couple other deals we're working on, especially in the Caribbean as well. We have talks with Antigua and Barbuda to talk about some stuff. So there's opportunities for him. And yes, he's comfortable. Yes, he can take care of himself. But
it's Antigua and Barbuda, so the country or like products
the country,
because we need to be seeing #visit Trinidad on the back.
No, for sure, but I was telling you that, so the reason why I said Antigua, because before Malik, I did a lot of groundwork in the Caribbean to make connections with basketball. So once it happened, they came to me and said, hey, we want to do something. Obviously, Trinidad is home, Trinidad is where our heart is, but any day this is a business. If Antigua is willing to do something that could benefit Malik. And
so let's just take a quick pause there. #visit Trinidad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah? #visit Trinidad. Because, you saw this thing where, I think it was leading up to the World Cup, where some of the Jamaican footballers were going to be signed by Turkey or Turkey.
Yeah.
And my thing is, no, I mean, I don't want to see Antigua and Barbuda. No disrespect to Antigua and Barbuda. I love it.
Yeah.
But we want to see Visit Trinidad on the
Yes. I mean, we want to see it too. Again, I'm just being open to let you know that once this happened, the calls we were getting, obviously our bias is here. We like to do stuff here, but essentially the calls we've received.
Right.
We've been reached out to a lot of things, and obviously, again, we love Trinidad. We want to do things here. However, we're not going to turn down any opportunities that come our way.
So first class for now, no jet yet. Basically.
I ain't gonna lie, the jet kind of, I don't like flying. And the jets is kind of small now, but so it's like.
Wait, I was making a joke there, but you're actually flying.
Be careful. Real turbulence. So I'll probably be on the planes for a long time.
So have you met? I know you might meet first team as yet, but have you been able to meet? Is it off season? It's still off season. Training has started. Do you all train together? What's that like? Take me through.
I mean, the summer league was okay. So in the summer league, the team would consist of the 2As, Exhibit 10s, and some of the guys that played in the G League team. And maybe you bring in the new draftees, and you're probably bringing some other guys that, they want to see play. The actual NBA guys will be around getting treatment. They'll probably work out before or after us. So you'll see them around, go shake hands, be respectful, whatnot.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, that is
So they're looking at you as green at that point,
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Until such point where you show what you have to show. What are I know before we started recording, we were talking about our GOATs. We all know Michael Jordan.
I think LeBron. LeBron is the GOAT. I mean, yeah.
No, we're not talking about basketball. We're talking about GOATs here, right? So, right. Let's be real. Let's be real. You have big shoes to fill in Kareem. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and has he broken the record? I can't remember. Again, I don't follow it.
Yeah, he been long time. long time.
Not long time.
Long time.
About at least 3-4 years ago.
Not long time.
I feel that way. He's good.
Right? But how long did he hold the record? Right. So and when somebody's playing out that long, I mean, at some point, you're gonna break a record. But anyway, no disrespect to LeBron. LeBron has done amazing. He's at the Philadelphia 76ers now. But who Jonathan, would you say? Come on, give me some hope in this conversation.
My GOAT is Michael Jordan. But however, I said if someone
hold on.
However, if someone makes the case I can make the case for LeBron. If I want to argue for LeBron, I can make a strong case.
No, I mean, in football, I'm a Manchester United fan. There are some people. Wait, what's happening? Do we need to end this podcast?
The question is why though?
We've been struggling.
Black Jog left already.
No, what's going on there? You all realize you're on my podcast, right?
We understand.
When Black Jog left, I left with him. That's late.
So
Ronaldo leave, I leave too.
We're gonna come back to the basketball conversation, but let's just have to understand. Who do you support?
Madrid.
Yeah, well, I mean that's overseas. I mean, you all have taken most of our footballers, but who would you say?
My team is Bayern.
Bayern again. So this will make my point. Thank you for saving me by saying Madrid and Bayern, because I was actually going to make reference to being a Manchester United supporter. There's the noisy neighbors on the other side in blue, right? City. I even hate to make the names, but definitely not a Chelsea fan. Enzo, these guys from Argentina. Let's not go down that road. We talk. Robert, focus on basketball. But as we're talking about that, I can still have
Manchester Blue right now. Manchester Blue right now.
I don't know what's going on with this guy,
So that generation is rage bait.
Manchester Blue right now.
So just to say, let me remain focused, to say that I could appreciate good football. Regardless of who is playing, you can appreciate good football.
Most definitely.
But I'm a Manchester United supporter. So I'm saying to you that in the same way, Bayern, the history of Bayern, Madrid, really good football teams, and the noisy neighbors, those other people, they play good football. But as a Red Devil, that's my team. So I'm saying all that to say that LeBron James, give Jack his jacket, played all up until now, still continues to play, has broken so many records. But I always ask myself, as much as you're breaking records and you've done what you're doing, put some respect on Manchester United. You have to understand that what people like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan did to change the game and to get people interested in the game. I mean, nobody, but you're not putting respect on the boss man. See this? See that there? All right. Just to say that they were trailblazers. Basketball. If we talk about the Will Chamberlains and people they in every generation, because I remember, just really quickly before we go to the next break, and I've been accused of rambling a couple times. Go figure. I find like you agreed with that a little too fast.
No, I mean, it's a podcast. But we have time.
Well, yeah, to an extent. The Michael Jordan was asked himself about the GOAT debate, and he said he put it best to say that every generation has its GOAT, And even though it stands for greatest of all time, every generation will have their greats. So in your generation, there'll be another person that comes along. I mean, who would have thought the New York Knicks would have won an NBA championship?
I mean, if we're being honest, LeBron is not from my generation.
Well, he's still playing, right? So what I mean, so he's still playing. So you have maybe 5-10 years from now, we'd have another conversation, and you may have another.
I could still be LeBron.
Still be LeBron. All right. So everyone has their goats, and everyone can argue for why that person. And I'll give it to you based on stats. LeBron is probably up there, but I would think
probably. So you ain't giving me
for impact, you know, in the same way. Well, I mean, you said Manchester's blue, so you kind of threw me off. You kind of threw me off there, but
I mean, Jordan made us feel that.
So how long you been a Manchester fan?
Manchester United fan since I was 5. Damn. So even, and I went to university in Manchester because of Manchester United. So
like past 5 years, I think you've been.
Yeah, but we've been doing well. We've been doing well.
I mean, yeah, this season, Carrick saved all there, but like before that, I mean, never. It's all right. CT still on top.
I'll take it down to age. That you're unaware of what's in our trophy cabinet. But that's a good one to go on a break.
CT had like three or four in a row. I had like 3 or 4 in a row.
So we talk about crazy. We talk about living the dream, right? This guy clearly dreaming, has some nightmares. Right?
But Manchester been blue for the past 10 years.
Maybe one day, ladies and gentlemen, he will get to go to the theater of dreams. So we're taking a short break.
Welcome to a new era of driving in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me introduce to you Omoda and Jayco, 2 global automotive brands, redefining style, technology, and performance. This is just the beginning.
Cold or flu? Take Panadol multi-symptoms. Relief in minutes. 7 cold and flu symptoms. Panadol. Release starts here.
Thinking it's time to upgrade your fridge? Now's a great time to do it at Quartz. Get 15% off fridges $5,999 and over when you shop with Quartz Ready Finance on 24-month and over credit accounts. So whether you need more space, better cooling, or simply a fresh new look for your kitchen, come into Quartz and find the fridge that's right for your home. Upgrade today with a payment plan you'll feel good about. Conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
Never chocolate digestive, rich chocolate with cookie crunch. Never chocolate digestive, taste the cookie with chocolate sweetness.
Cookie beats chocolate in Devon Chocolate Digestive. Better because it's both.
Go. The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR March live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
Just got your CXC or CAPE results? Then start your degree today at CTS College and choose from many of our pathways in business management, business administration, human resource management, marketing, finance, management information systems, computer engineering, computing and information systems. Full and partial scholarships are available. CTS College, where education is beyond academics.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by 2 silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, You get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus. Your heart deserves better.
The best eyewear this summer is at Seaview Optical. Buy one complete clear single vision glasses for $499. Get the second pair free. Or get progressive transitions with designer frames for only $1,399. The best in luxury eyewear. All exclusively available at Seaview Optical.
This is manhood. Living the dream.
So we're talking about dream, and before we went to the break, clearly you guys are dreaming quite a lot. I'm still trying to get over the disrespect meted out to my football team, the great Manchester United. But as we refocus back to basketball, one of the things that people we spoke about, we touched a bit about it before, where we talk about the opportunities here in Trinidad and Tobago, and a lot of people that you hear who have gone on through great things. It's always been either that they reach that point, take that natural talent, and just at that period of plateauing is where they are outside of college. And when I mean college, I'm talking about Trinidad and Tobago, not college abroad, and they get an opportunity at that point, or they get a scholarship and they go abroad. But by that point, they're almost at the tail end of that. What are some of the for people listening on who may either believe that they have talent, or someone has seen talent in them, or parents, and not only avenues that they can use to get to further themselves, but also messaging. And I'd like to talk about it some more, about parents or guardians listening on to be there to encourage your children and their aspirations.
Well, for me,
their dreams.
For me, I just want to reach out to the parents. This is the Manhood podcast, especially the fathers, that fathers need to be in their sons' lives, Again, I'm not a father, not a therapist, I'm not a psychotherapist. I just watch patterns. And when a man, a father, or a male figure is in a boy's life, it changes it for the positive drastically. And, our culture is a great culture, but we have some holes in it in terms of, children don't have an opinion or don't have a value of say. And I think we need to change that mindset in Trinidad. Kids are very intelligent, especially now. Kids are kids, and they're exposed to more than us, in Malik's generation as well. And I think fathers need to listen to their sons, have a conversation. He's not too young. Listen to his dreams, listen to his aspirations. Everybody, you can't tell a fish to climb a tree. And when you can't climb the tree, you treat them as a failure. Find these things, listen to your kids. And I think we need to look at sport as more of a business model than recreation, just having fun, And there's one thing that irks me, and it still happens today, is that when a kid gives trouble, a boy gives trouble, you take the sports away from him. That where you can use that as discipline. I've used in the States when I coach, I tell the parents, if he did something bad, let me deal with him, because I have more value at this point in his life, because I control what he loves. You don't control what he loves. Taking it away is going to make it worse. And I think parents need to understand, especially Trinidad parents, our culture is so rigid and so, I don't want to say archaic, but it needs a little evolution to it. Because once our kids in trying to realize, okay, well, if I don't fit this mold, then obviously only other mold is negative. And I want to change that mindset, like fathers sit with your sons and have a discussion, even though you might not like what you're hearing, but understand it comes from a child, it comes from a good place, because they figure out themselves. Even with Malik, at 21 years old, he hasn't figured out himself. He's a grown man. He's gotten responsibilities that he didn't ask for in a quick space of time. And if I didn't sit down and listen to him, this relationship wouldn't be how it is, because as much as I would know stuff, the person who I'm helping, I have to listen to him first, and he may say, well, I don't like that, or I don't agree with this way. And sometimes he may be right, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, we're going with your way. Because who knows him better than him? Yes, I'm seeing him and stuff, and I think a conversation, we need to treat boys as humans, and when they get to adults, treat them as adults. Yes, because I'm older than you, I'm your father, I'm your uncle, doesn't necessarily mean I know more than you. I may have more experience in certain things, but doesn't necessarily mean I know more. He has been a professional at 17 years old. I've never been a professional. So there's certain experiences that he has that I would never experience. I'm just along for the ride. And I think once we have a conversation, because when we went to Spain on that flight, I told him, listen, you're 15, but this conversation now is man to man. You're not a boy anymore. I'm not looking at you as a boy. You're not an adolescent. You're a man now, and you have to make man decisions and take man consequences.
Big man thing.
Yeah, because this is high risk. This is high risk, high reward. And unfortunately, Trinidad and Tobago mindset and Caribbean mindset is that if a local is helping the local to get to a point, all the bad is my fault. But all the good is attributed to someone else. And I told him I can live with that. Whatever negative things come to me or whatever mishaps come, they will never blame me because you are somebody so they love you. You're innocent. Me, I have baggage. So any little thing, they'll be like, it's Jonathan's fault. Jonathan should have done this.
So you see, as you said that there's the other twist to that. People may think that, okay, well, you may not be able to take him all the way. Maybe he should go with somebody else or someone overseas, an agent or manager. Yeah. But at the same time, when you do that, or if you were to do that, Trinis or people are the first to say, so I'm somebody local, couldn't do it or
yeah.
So you're almost damned if you're doing, damned if you don't.
Correct.
So it's about following your heart. But when you said about some of the failures and things that you try to you tell him for his growth.
Yeah.
One of the things I tell my son when we're having conversations, I say, listen, I'm not always trying to say to you that I know more than you, but what I'm saying to you is I've made more mistakes.
Correct.
And because I've made more mistakes, I'm trying to avoid you making the same mistakes, or I have more wisdom as a result of that to be able to say, hey, you'd rather stick your hand in our socket to get to know you can get shot, because I've already done it myself.
Yeah.
And boys will be boys, like you said. So you need that out. And I want Jonathan, before we wrap up this episode, to get a bit more specific as to what persons listening on can do if they feel they have talent to get those similar opportunities.
Yeah.
But before that, I really want to. I want to get. Because I'm still excited. Still the whole, the NBA, the fact that someone red, white, from the red, white, and black son of the soil, South soil, is going to the NBA. Well, not is going, is within the NBA camp at this point. Who are some of the players that you are looking to play against at some point? And I mean, you can imagine you're now on the court and LeBron, you're playing Philadelphia. And you're about to probably rest it on LeBron because he's a lot older now, so that's a real possibility. But also, when you spoke about your fear of failure or the embarrassment of it, is what are some of the things that drive you? Now that you're at the pinnacle, this is where it's at. This is the NBA. How are you keeping yourself? It's one thing having a team behind you, but how are you keeping yourself centered? Or what are some of the mantras that you may repeat to yourself to ensure that when those moments come, and we know they will come, of disappointment, of reassessment, to keep yourself literally in the game?
Ever since I know myself, I wanted to have a family from young. If I was in a position to do it now, I would have. So I feel like that's, for me, is just trying to mature myself as fast as possible. I left home when I was 15, so I had to do it then. And I think like having a kid is a totally totally different thing. I don't think that's something you could prepare for. It's something that you'll just learn as time go on. And that is something that I just keep in mind, that if you want to do this, if you have this dream, this is something that you have to do to make that happen. I'm a younger sibling, so that I want to be able to give the same opportunities that I have and experience the same things that I am experiencing in life. And I won't be able to do that if I slacken off. I won't be able to do that if I'm not stable, if I'm not excelling in the game. And it's something Jonathan has always said: as much as you just put people before yourself, you have to go first, and then you could bring everyone along with you. Because if you're not moving, you can't move them.
Yeah, put your life jacket on first.
Yeah. So it's something that we just still kind of bump heads on, at times. But he's not wrong.
So living the dream, and this is for both Jonathan and yourself. Living the dream is one thing. I mean, you are living the dream now, but within the dream, as you mentioned, outside of that 60, there are thousands of other people coming for that position. And the reality is, in the same way you've had an excel past the players that you played with in Trinidad, there are players that can also excel, and they'll always be positioning or gunning for that position. Do you have there's a dream, but there's also a realistic plan in place that in those moments of adjustment, that you can say, hey, this is just a knockback, and this is how we push forward?
Yeah, going to Summer League, I've honestly, even as young as I am, I've never been to a place where I haven't played. Everywhere I go, I just always play. So even if it's somebody get hurt, and then Malik, okay, you're gonna be playing. So when going to Summer League, didn't play a lot. So just trying to stay positive and not show that it was affecting me, because I in this environment for the first time, and just trying to show them that, okay, even if I'm not playing, I could still help the team. Could still help the team off the court. Still go hard in practice to help the guys that are playing, and just be that person be a good person, for say. And that's just how I was thinking about it, because not playing is tough, and if you're not playing, you just have to find other ways to get better, and other ways to get better apart from practicing with the team. So that's just how I was looking at it.
As your manager said, hey, with that first paycheck, that this is how you could reward yourself. I mean, we're not talking about a Lamborghini here, but there must be a something that you could say, not a big thick gold chain either.
First NBA paycheck, that would probably, the first thing I buy would probably not be for me. It more than likely won't be for me. So, tough other things to have in mind.
Girlfriend, mom, who we talking about?
I mean, my girlfriend will always be with me. So
she always benefiting anyway.
Yeah. Yes, she would be a part of it, but I don't think it would be for her either.
Yeah, I mean, I think mindset is a muscle you have to keep working at, because just to give you guys some history, that in the history of the NBA, only 5,000 people ever played in the NBA. And there's only 450 current players in the NBA right now. So out of how many billions of people on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
So that shows the type of dedication and luck that is something to get to this point. And for young men and young women, but focus on the young men, that want this, you have to be able to sacrifice something. You cannot have everything if you want to get to this level. And he has sacrificed a lot to get to this point. And if you're not willing to sacrifice the comforts and the vices of this world, you might as well just forget it. But if you really want it, you need to sit and have a discussion with your parents, because your parents control, as a young, if you're not an adult, your parents control everything. Sit and have a conversation with your parents, because one thing I know is that when you sit and have a conversation with parents, they will take it a little more seriously, and especially when a boy sitting down to me like, Daddy, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I like football, I like basketball, I really want to be the best. I think it's onus on the father not to say, okay, what does that journey look like? And the father has to take his ego aside and be like, okay, well, if I could guide you, I can't guide you, I know someone who can. And stick with them, because I think mothers are more empathetic, sympathetic. So when a boy feels, they tend to console, tend to cover, where for boys to become a man, failure, suffering needs to be a part of character building. And I think once fathers understand that, and if you're in a nuclear family, you're separated, because it's still co-parenting, the mother has to let the father take control of that point. Because as men, we naturally suffer. That's our DNA. We suffer to improve, fear to come back, where women are very as equally important, but they are more to nurture and support and to cover, and that could be a detriment to...
Yeah, but you have to be real too, Jonathan. You see it a lot where, with my son, my mom, my girlfriend, a lot of times people, they always say I'm a bit harsh on him at some point. And I said, but that's the role of a father. The role of a father, yes, is to encourage, yes, it's to speak positivity into their life and to guide them, but in the guiding is also give them a reality check. Exactly. If they're playing football And I keep going, boy, you real good boy, you know, you're a messy boy. I gassing him up because the truth is, you go outside and if you're not a messy, they'll say, boy, you're a tongue. You know, so, and then all of a sudden their ego is broken as a result of that because they're like, wait, all this time I've been told I'm good. You know, it's like people who sing in the shower and then they really sort of like you know, they caterwailing. You know, as they say, and so in that case, but what he is really good at is swimming and other things. And in those cases, you can say, hey, when he comes, he says, are you proud of me? I said, are you proud of yourself first and foremost? Because when he's out in the world, he has to know that he has to remain centered in his own confidence and be able to take on what the world has to offer. And if you keep sending boys out into the world with a false sense, then when they hit, and I'm not just talking about Trini, you know, Trini can be harsh, you know, and they could take it down in ways that is more than pecan in many ways. But I want Jonathan, just in your closing, if you can your own messaging for to Trinidad and Tobago and to young men out there, but also to parents, to guardians, to school teachers, to anybody, coaches, anybody looking on, as to what are some of the steps to be taken for others to maybe not advance to the NBA, but in all sports or other areas of life to have a chance.
Funny enough, in terms of basketball, the blueprint is already there, you know, we need the light to shine on it. There are coaches in Trinidad and Tobago who are producing talent, who has dedicated their lives to this. You know, I could call a few names like Coach Jackson Charles Maloney Pacers, Curtin George from NCA, Gavin Warwick Spartans, Coach Stefan Stadler at UTT. There's a bunch of coaches out there that in Trinidad who's doing the work, but there's no shine and no light. The reason I have the light is because, obviously, of Malik. And before pre-Malik, I've been doing the groundwork for this day. And there's one parents and kids understand that if this is what you really want, just do it and just be open with it. Because I think Trinidad culture, we tend to hide something that's not traditional. If it's like, I want to be a footballer, but you know that the initial response, but I'm going to say, boy, you dream a little too big. And I think, you know, they
put a glass ceiling.
Yeah, they say, then sticks and stones will break my bones, but wasn't with me. That's the worst lie ever taught in history. Words hurt. Words hurt. And once we understand that part, we will be careful of the things we say. Because Trinidadians, we go pecan, but we push that line a little too far sometimes. And I'll give a perfect example. I remember a time where I was in the Avenue years ago. I was in John hop out a car, and I was in awe. It's like, this man is top 5 in the world scorers, and I'm like, but Stern John, you're shit. I was like, what? And I look at the man, and I thought I would see like Dwight York saying it, because the only person who could say that could be Dwight York or Latapi. And I turn on the man and look at him.
Dwight York played for Manchester United.
So he had to be somebody.
Won a treble with Manchester United.
One of my favorite players all the time. And I was like, that's the only people who could actually say at the Stern John. I look at the man looking at like a footballer. I was like, you had to be crazy. And if they could say at the Stern John, I'm like, who the hell is me? You know, because I revere Stern John and all my Trinidad athletes, because I understand sport, the history of sport, and I think we need to move away from those things and celebrate more. And want to celebrate.
Dwight York, one of the best partnerships in football as well with Andy Cole at Manchester United.
So I think for parents, or loved ones, or just anyone who is actually striving to do something positive, you have to encourage it. You have to keep fueling that fire, because everybody's meant to be a lawyer, doctor, politician, or business owner. They're not meant to be that. If that's the case, then the world would have been one way. That's why we have diversity. That's why we have different types of people, because of experiences. And we have a gold mine here when it comes to athletes. We just don't know how to nurture it, or we don't see it as significant, but we have it. If we could just get to this point, if I could take Malik on my own and get into this point, imagine how many Maliks I missed. You know, and I did this with my own resources, and just not to make it a type of way, but I've been begging people in powers that be for these situations to put investment into this, and they haven't, which is fine, you know, because any day I told them, like, I was like, we have to prove it, we have to come to this point, and then we look back and say, well, here, we've done it on our own. The next couple of guys, please put our resources into it. It's not about me. I don't want any fame. I'm never that. I always play the backup singer to Malik. But I think we have an opportunity here for growth in terms of sport and the youth in general, because the youth, they want love, and they just don't know what it looks like or what it feels like. And I think the onus is on us as the adults to give them the love to know what love is a comfortable thing. Because especially with men, when men and boys talking, hey, a hug or a dap, or hey, the action of love is something that is foreign to us. And I think we need to get accustomed to what love looks like, because love looks different. Your mother's love is different from your father's love. Father's more tough love. Father's more, he will let you walk to the edge. Yeah, you mess up, but as soon as they fall, he will catch you. Your mother will catch you before you even take your first step, because she's seeing where you're going. But your father will be like, nah, let him go. But I know you won't fall, and the trust between parents needs to be that, and a conversation with the parents needs to be had, and saying, okay, we seen our son going in this direction, you think he has a chance? Cool, and the internet is open. You can literally find, okay, your son growing high, take him to the doctor. Okay, the doctors could predict how tall his son is going to get, how heavy, if they have any athletic genes. These things is an investment, and these first world countries are doing it. That's why Americans produce these top athletes all the time.
So two things, what I ask you in your close is one, like who do you think, not that you're going to be starstruck or fanboying, but in terms of who you might be looking forward to in the circuit that you hope to bump into, and two, what is some, as Malik's mentor, what is something that you would impart as a mantra or particular saying? I mean, I live by this too shall pass, or just for today, that you can impart to the nation.
But my athlete I'll be starstruck, he passed away, that's Kobe Bryant. No other athlete will ever have me starstruck. I'll be like, okay, that's LeBron, that's whoever, it's KD. We saw a couple of them at, a lot of them at some of the, I was just like, okay, cool. I was like, whoa, he taller than what I thought, he shorter than what he was. But the only person who ever had me starstruck would be Kobe Bryant.
So who could be in the GOAT conversation, So like if you see LeBron, we talk about the GOAT conversation.
For sure, and what I tell Malik in terms of his mantra is that you have to be selfish. Malik is so selfless, it's tough fault. I told him this. He will literally give his jersey to a stranger and walk bareback. That's the type of individual he is. And I'm like, I get it. But for you to make it, you have to look and tell everybody are coming back just now and just go. And let them there, they'll gripe a little bit. They'll say, well, they abandoned him, or they'll say, well, Jonathan, take him, But we will come back, and we've come back, and we're coming back now to say, hey, we're here. Malik is here, he's open. We are Trinbagonians. We love this place. We want to see it grow. We want to see the youth. Because youth have a quote unquote bad reputation now, and we want to change that. Because as much as there's more good than bad in Trinidad, in my humble opinion. Because if not, the country would have been falling apart. And we hold on to, and we are a God-fearing country as well. Our grandparents still pray. We still are a praying country, and that matters. No matter what religion we are, we all. One thing we could say is that we pray, no matter what religion we are. And I think we need to go back to that.
And we say God is our Trinity.
Correct, and we need to actually embody that.
So I want to give Malik the last word, just to say, losing is part of the game. If you never lose, you are never truly tested and never forced to grow. So that's a big one. That's a basketball quote, one of those positives. With that, but Malik, just in closing, just to say, it really, it was a proud moment seeing the red, white, and black pop up, during the NBA draft. I hope that we see many other pop-ups at that point of the draft, of the work, the trailblazing that you guys have done, and like I said, I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan now. Just to remember, I know you laughed at my size of my foot, just to say. Remember size 13 when I went to see the Malik Lewis signage. So what would be your closing thoughts on your own excitement, your own dream? I mean, you're living the dream now, but your continued dream and your hope for the nation of Trinidad and Tobago, something you'd like to tell?
For me personally, my next goals would obviously be just developing into that NBA caliber player that the team drafted me to be, and going there and making an instant impact. And for Trinidad, I feel like me and Jonathan have things planned that we would like to do in the future when that time comes. But it's just the time not right. I don't know. It's just patient, just be patient and just bear with us until that time comes.
That moment.
Yeah.
And to the young men looking on or the young women looking on, whether it be in sport or just their own aspirations and wanting to fulfill their dreams. It mightn't be, at the highest level like NBA, but whatever your dream is, when you do your wish list, you've been through a lot, as you said, ups and downs, put in the work, realize the dream. You had a Jonathan in your corner. You had those moments that were checked off. What in that closing thought can you tell to young persons listening on about, no pun intended, but staying in the game?
Yeah, I mean, throughout everything I've been through, throughout everywhere I've been lucky to have a person that's, literally put me under their wing. Spain, Mexico, Australia, and even now. But it's something I always tell all the kids, and I feel like kids in Trinidad who would probably, hit home more, is don't give up on your dream because it's not arm's length away. And don't give up on your dream because you can't see it right in front of you right about now. I know that, like a lot of sports is from school, like you play for your school, and then after that is like, what's next? Just, keep going, keep your head down, and keep grinding, and something will happen.
And it'd be remiss of me to close without finding out, what does Mom say?
She booms bless. She booms bless.
Those grounded words, living the dream. I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan. Really, really a pleasure to have you guys on, Jonathan. And I'm using the words, I'm calling it into being. NBA star from Trinidad and Tobago, Malik Lewis, Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Manhood, brought to you in part by Lucozade and Solomon Bespoke.
Manhood, brought to you by Lucozade.
You're watching CNC3.